grade to follow. About 1910, they built a new railroad grade through a tunnel, but the old one was up high and at one point went over a 300-foot long trestle creek. So I just set up on a night when the moon was up and then set, and took this series of circumpolar stars and then processed it in a way where the stars left trails behind them. It's kind of fun because it nicely shows different stellar types where we've got more reddish and more bluish stars.
How long was your exposure?
This, I think, was 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 30-second exposures that were strung together.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I've got another video.
David, is that north of I-80?
No, it's south of I-80. So access is off 287 at Thai Siding.
Yep, I was going to say.
So
Okay, I would just
stop and turn right at Thai Siding and follow Wyoming 222, and it takes you over there.
You're coming north, and then you have to turn left at Thai Siding. If you're
Turn right.
coming north, I was just up there last week for a few days, so that's why I was curious. Thank you.
Yeah, so I went up there for Comet Neowise and photographed it from there. And then this time last year, or just a couple of weeks later in September, Kay and I went to Iceland to photograph the Aurora. And so these are a sequence of several second exposures that are strung together. It kind of goes too fast at the beginning and then slows down. This is sort of 3 or 4 times real time. The beginning's a little bit faster than that. So it's amazing how quickly the aurora change. When I got there, my plan was to take long exposures, stop the lens down to get super sharp stars, and then adjust the ISO until the exposure came out right. And then I realized that everything I was taking was blurred. And so I went to shorter and shorter and shorter exposures. So I wound up with 1 second exposures at ISO 5000 and stringing those together.
What camera and lens did you use?
This is a Canon 6D with a Sigma Art 15mm focal length lens. And it was wide open, and it still looks pretty good in the corners.
David, is this
f1.4?
Is this a H-alpha modified camera body?
It is H-alpha modified, but there's nothing in the image that's at those wavelengths.
Well, some Aurora, like the red Aurora, is, but not here.
The red Aurora is. I'm kind of looking for help from Carolyn here. It's what, 630 nanometer oxygen?
Something like that, yeah.
And then there's.
And it's going to be more likely that you'd have a pretty active sun to get that.
Yeah, so of course we were at solar minimum, but
Okay.
we were really lucky in getting one of those reversals of the direction of the B field and the solar magnetic field just as we were there. So this was like a KP of 5 on the first night we arrived in Iceland. So this is looking straight up. So we're seeing that energetic particles come straight down to us. You can kind of see some of these traces start out one color and turn another color. So that's as these energetic particles are crashing through the atmosphere, ionizing oxygen and nitrogen. One of them's red, one of them's green. I'm pretty sure the oxygen's red. But there were times when you could, at one location, see the
oxygen is green.
change from red to green
Yeah.
as the particles were coming at you and
Yeah.
exciting different layers of the atmosphere as they came down.
Yeah, we did that one year and went up there and we used a Canon 5D Mark II with a Sigma fisheye and did time lapses. And you know, you'd be shooting for 2 or 3 hours to get a few minutes.
Yep.
And we weren't as lucky as you. That looks really nice.
Now this is only a few minutes,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's.
Well, we wanted to get long sequences for the dome, so.
Mhm. I kept wanting to get faster and faster to see the features actually evolve. There was one occasion when we saw something that I don't think could be possible to photograph, and that was what looked like sparkles.
Mhm.
One area of the sky, maybe 10 to 15 degrees across, it was just sparkling at us. And I couldn't capture it at all. It was truly amazing.
Yeah, it
this-
probably blurs even at the shortest exposures.
Yeah, but this isn't bad.
Yeah, no, that's really nice.
Okay, those are mine, John.
Very cool, man.
Thanks.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I gotta find where you are so I can unshare my screen.
Yeah, David, the oxygen is actually green and red, depending on what the excitation is.
Okay, and then nitrogen is,
The nitrogen is more blue.
okay,
There's a little reddish, but again, it's not
Right.
like the red for the oxygen. Yeah.
so this would have been only oxygen then.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I can't find the screen, oh, there we are. You were showing stop share. There we go. So it's interesting. So we saw oxygen, we saw the rays start out red and then end in green. So I guess different ionization states of oxygen at different altitudes are excited.
Yeah, and there might have been a high-speed stream that, we just, happened to be coincident in the sky there. It's hard to tell. I'd have to know what the sun was doing.
Yep, true. I didn't ask.
Yeah. And the locals probably didn't know either. So,
It was pretty impressive. Even locals were coming out of Reykjavik to watch
yeah,
the
yeah.
particular display.
Actually, you find out a lot of them really know a lot. I mean, I'm on a couple of Facebook pages of locals that talk about when it's coming up, and they're, slinging the science around quite a bit. So, it's the main thing that brings people there. Well, that and the hiking. So they tend to learn a lot about it.
Yeah, geysers weren't bad.
Yeah, those are cool.
Gonna have to go.
Yeah, Iceland is an amazing country. It's gorgeous. You get to see things like the Northern Lights if the conditions are right. People are wonderful.
The food's pretty good.
Food's pretty good.
Yeah, I always thought of it as in certain parts of it, it's like Colorado with oceans and glaciers, lots of glaciers.
Mm-hmm.
People go on birding
Volcanoes.
trips there.
Uh-huh.
They go on what?
Birding trips. There's really good birds.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, they eat some of
Reasonable
them too.
airfare.
The well, there's a direct flight from Denver. It's,
Yeah.
if you buy the cheap seats, it's sometimes as low as $400.
Yeah, it's not a bad flight at all. It's a
7 hours.
7 hours. It's quicker than going to Europe. And one of the things you can do from Iceland Air is if you're going to Europe, you can fly to Iceland, stay over for 5 days,
Mm-hmm.
and then continue your flight to Europe. And they have interesting banks that come in and out of Keflavik Airport. So connections are really easy.
Yeah, yeah. That's a really busy airport. It's kind of amazing. You land there at 5:30 in the morning and the place is just thronged with people.
Well, that's one of their peak times for making
Yeah, yeah.
exchanges, connections.
Well, Barb's up first. See if this video plays.
My favorites. Horsehead Nebula, going in to check it out, and
A little closer to the mic, please.
oh, okay, yeah. This is one of my favorites, actually, on my Facebook page, which I don't really use very much, but I've got a picture of the Horsehead Nebula, and this is a video that the European Space Agency did of being out there and coming into the Horsehead Nebula. If it works. Does it work, John?
All I'm getting is Isa.
Is not, do you not see it?
No.
Just see the East.
Yeah.
Oh,
There it goes. There it goes.
oh,
No, it was going.
well, that's okay. I think he's trying to go back to see if it'll play, you know, from the beginning. And then that's the final shot there.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to do something different. Hold on.
Okay. Do you have it outside of the PowerPoint? Because I think that was maybe our problem last time.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that actually before. Just see if this works. I deal in technology all the time. You'd think this would be.
Yeah, not when you're on stage, though.
Oh man, are you guys pressuring me?
Yeah.
No pressure, no
Oh,
pressure.
No pressure.
He lines up a 3-foot putt. No pressure.
Come on, did it not play?
Don't get me started with Caddyshack jokes.
Well,
But yeah, John, if you can't, you can just show that final picture.
no.
Yeah, we should put that on our website though too.
What?
You know, this video. It's just 1 minute, and it's pretty neat. But
What in the
Um,
world?
so well, John's playing with that. One thing we are thinking of doing is the International Observe the Moon Night is September 26th. And it's a Saturday night, not a Sunday. But what we might want to do is have a gathering that evening. There's no guarantee, of course, well, not a Zoom gathering. And there are about 20,000 people in 40 countries or something that do this every year. And, you know, we could either, you know, if we have some photos of the moon, you know, we could put those on the website. Could look at some of the other postings there. But so you gonna try it, John?
Yeah, can you see the SAA logo?
Yeah.
Yay.
Hey, here's Ryan.
So Barb, you're saying September 20th,
26th.
26th. Okay, so
Wow.
we are coming up, we're past first quarter, coming up on full moon. Okay.
Look at that.
That is cool.
Wow.
Infrared.
Yeah, great. Yeah, then it actually smoothly goes through all this if you
Yeah,
Do it.
Zoom's not the greatest for sometimes for this.
yeah, for that. Yeah. It's got a lot of data.
Is it pretty smooth?
It's sort
it
of
pretty
jumpy,
smooth right
but
Yeah.
it's kind of jumping, but it's looking good. And then for some reason, you know, the one I have on my Facebook is, you know, the cover shot behind the round thing. And that, for some reason, I did this, but when you get down to the end of it, when I copied it to my Facebook, it's got all these pink colors in it. I don't think it's right. I think this is, when you see the final one, is the one more true color. I don't know, maybe some of you other people know whether the horse head.
I think this is infrared now.
Mhm.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, crossfades to the infrared view.
When I won the top stars from NASA and IGES for the star cards and the Starry Critters website, I got to talk to Frank He does the visualizations at Hubble.
Oh, Summers. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank Summers. And that was, they were talking about how they bust these images apart, give them the depth. They said, well, these stars, the foreground stars, this cloud is farther back, that stuff. And then they put it all together, and I was like, can I just get a job with?
Yeah, he gives a really good talk about. They did a scene for an IMAX movie where you're flying through the deep field and all those galaxies, and they had to really be careful with how they did that. It was a lot of Photoshop work, a lot of 3D work.
That'd be cool. to
But
see that.
the just talking to him and getting to ask the questions was pretty fun.
Good guy.
And what's fun too is that like AAS this year, he recognized me, came, we talked for a bit. And I don't know if you're, Frank's one of these guys who is just very hard to get a hold of. Like everybody wants to talk to him. So the fact that he sat and chatted with me for a moment was pretty fantastic. Okay, so I'm sharing the screen again. You see the clouds?
Not yet.
John Williams has started screen share.
Oh, there they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is off our deck on the north side. And we were just out there, I haven't photoshopped it. We were just out there having a glass of wine, and that was happening toward the east. So
When was this?
I'd say about maybe 6 weeks ago. Sometimes with being a shut-in, it's hard to tell.
I was up in the same picture, so yeah,
Yeah, do you have that
I
one
actually
too?
have this
Yeah.
cloud.
that was a good cloud.
I had this cloud as a time lapse. Oh, I didn't put it up though. Sorry.
Very powerful.
I hit next, but it didn't advance. Come on.
Oh.
There we go.
So I think this is a real picture. It's a Getty picture. So, and I'm not sure. It looks like a real one. Could be artwork.
The combination.
I tried to get this,
I'm
get
positive.
the National Geographic with Leonard's Moonrush book to put this in there.
Can you sit a little closer?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Let's see.
we-
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I tried to get National Geographic when Leonard was doing his Moonrush book to put this in there because I thought it was so important that people, thinking about the moon, see something beautiful like this, but they wouldn't go for it. So
Aw.
more, they may not have wanted to pay Getty for it too, but yeah, I just love the moonlight on the water and the sun on the water. It's one of my favorites. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the stars are too bright for a full
Yeah.
moon.
That
It's
would have
probably
been
photographs, yeah.
a daylight picture by the phase of the moon.
Yeah, so it might have been, the right stars, but they're certainly far brighter relative to the moon than
That's what I figured
possible.
too. And this one I just threw in because I think this was on the International Observe the Moon Night either last year or the year before. And I took this through our 90 millimeter Meade telescope with my iPhone. And I thought,
Wow.
Good.
you can get that kind of, it wasn't quite a full moon. Yeah, I just, if you're all into doing that, the International Observe the Moon Night, I'll find out more about what we could do, or, it might be better to just any of us do it and then maybe have a meeting the day after and share some of what's on the website and what people have taken.
Well, it'd be nice if someone had a color video camera. We could be watching the moon
Yeah.
through a telescope with a video camera.
Okay, who has that capability?
Yeah.
Me.
You, David? Yeah, oh, okay. John. Great. Yeah, let's do that.
But it'd
Well,
be
on a
fun if we had
DS
a couple of folks with different magnifications. So, someone could do really close up and we could drive around among the craters, and someone else could do the whole moon. But you don't
A
really,
DSLR
Yeah,
in
you
video
have-
mode.
opportunity to live view.
Well, Dave, John, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
We can do something.
let's do
Couldn't
that.
do it live though, because it's only 6:30. So it'd have to be, it's
Yeah,
not dark,
the night
it's not,
before.
yeah, the night before,
Night
yeah.
before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, either that or we could have the meeting at 7:30. It's a Saturday night.
Would it be dark enough?
No.
No,
Yeah, well, it's September 26th and the moon is a bright object. And it's not, it will be about a little past first quarter, meaning it'll be fairly high up in the sky already.
Fun, fun,
That's
fun.
They usually have those events when the moon is easily visible in the early evening.
But of course, this is around the world. They're doing this, so.
But not at the same
Different
exact
people.
hour. It'll be different
Right.
hours for everybody.
yeah,
Mm.
it could be the same phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same phase, of course. Yeah.
Hey, Barb,
Okay.
did you have did you hold the camera or did you have a bracket for it?
No, I just held it. I think I probably took 2 or 3 before I actually got it. We do have a iPhone bracket, but it doesn't fit on our Mead. So, yeah, I was pretty impressed with myself that I could do that with an iPhone. Anyway, yeah, carry on. I think that's my last one.
Dewey,
All right.
Cool.
Hmm.
All righty.
When did you get that?
This was in April of 2009, and there's an occultation of Venus by the moon. And so this is a picture of that from my front driveway in Nevada. And I am no astrophotographer, and I have no astrophotography equipment. But back then I do have a Celestron 8 telescope and at that time, an old cheap Fuji digital camera that I bought in 2005. And so I tried taking pictures through the eyepiece of the telescope. And I got lucky on one shot. And that's right there.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Oh, cool.
So that was, just at contact. And you see the phase of Venus, and you can kind of make out some crateriness in the moon.
I
Very-
would die happy with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
And not too bad for just, holding a camera up against the eyepiece and taking pictures.
yeah, that's tough.
Wow.
So that's all I got.
Very nice.
Cool.
Mark, I didn't know what order to put these in, so these were alphabetical.
Bird.
Clark and Mike.
Bird.
Let me say that we have a neighbor right across the street who's using a chainsaw right now. So
Oh,
Oh,
if you can't hear me, well, he stopped it just at this instant, but he'll start up again.
We can hear you.
But if you can hear me,
Oh, Crosby.
the previous picture showed, well,
Back, John?
There.
Yeah.
there we go.
I'm getting there.
oh yeah, okay. The hummingbird on the left, we named Arco. He came in the spring and he ruled the roost. Any other male that came, he'd chase away. He finally had a large family and allowed the youngsters and the females to sip from our feeder, but he was just a type A personality.
King of the roost.
He kind of looks tough.
Yeah.
did a Rufus come by and push him out?
Rufuses came and they were kind of equal.
Yeah,
Like that.
I had that too with two dominant ones that kind of shared.
Oh,
That's a great picture.
Yeah, and then the bird on the right, of course, is a bluebird. They're no longer around, but they were here in the spring. All of our pictures were taken between May and August from our property here during isolation. And, you know, we don't have good astrophotographic capabilities, so these
Pretty
are just
good.
nature shots and no astronomy. This is a cross bill. If you look at the bill, you see it's crossed.
Why do they have bills like that, or do you know?
I don't
For
know.
opening seats.
This is an even
Okay.
grosbeak.
Grocery, yeah. Yeah.
That's not the most common kind of grosbeak around here, but
Wow.
That's cool.
they have a cottontail.
That's amazing. They're friends?
They walk close to each other. This is just a thistle.
And we're supposed to be making sure those don't propagate.
Well, some are native and some are not. Now
That's
this
a squirrel.
is an Abert's squirrel that climbed up our screen door.
Nice. What a good shot.
My
Yeah.
wife liked this one.
There.
Aw.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Golden mantled squirrel, you know, one of these little ground squirrels taking a drink from the bird bath.
Whoa.
Oh,
Oop.
Mine.
Whoop.
Oh, there's mine. Maybe mine. Oh, I didn't send in that one.
No.
You passed by the moose. You should go back to the moose.
Dale.
Back.
Oh, you
One-
changed your name. Yeah.
There they are.
I think there's a
Helen,
bit of a
baby?
lag. I'm sorry.
That's mama and juvenile moose in our front yard in May.
Very cute.
I think they ended up over at our place about a month later.
They're
They
huge.
get around.
Very cool.
One came to church today.
Naturally, I didn't have a camera. I didn't even see it.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh, wow.
John, can you go back? Oh, can you go back to Clark's last one there?
That one.
That's the sun a few weeks ago through the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not near sunset. This was a couple of hours before sunset.
Right.
It was amazing.
I'm so ready for fall.
It's
I
here.
don't want
It's
the
here.
smoke. Yeah, it is. I
not.
know.
We didn't hardly get any summer.
It was
But
hot.
you didn't get
August-
summer? I got enough
Well,
of summer.
yeah, we got a week worth of hot weather, but then, then we get all this, cooling from the smoke.
Yeah, no, I'm ready to put on my scarf and gloves.
Mm.
I
Bring out
had
the
enough of
snowplow.
summer.
Oh, no.
September's the best month.
Yes, it is.
That's
Beautiful
what-
day. When did you take this one, Dave?
One was this was actually in June. Just a really beautiful one before all the smoke that we'll see here in a minute or two. But that's right at the Indian Peaks. There's one of the. Oh man, that was. I mean, it was beautiful and scary at the same time. You can see Devil's Thumb on the lower left.
Yeah.
So I think this is to the right of the sun is Mount Neba. Would that be right? I think.
I don't know. And Weddington can recite all of the Indian peaks.
And this is through the densest part. I mean, just like looking through a solar filter to do an eclipse. So it's a high shutter speed to get just the disk, and to get the color. But it was really a lot of smoke in that cloud right there. And that was probably, a couple hours before sunset.
Yeah.
No sunspots. I didn't see any.
There weren't any sunspots. There
And this
aren't
was
any sunspots.
That's cool.
This was like, this was like otherworldly completely. Smoky one. This was probably maybe an hour before sunset, but through those clouds and the smoke.
It looks like it's tucked into the clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was, I mean, that was another, yeah, I really like the effect how the light, below the sun too. It's cool, lighting up the clouds, but it was very spooky looking too. And this, I mean, I couldn't believe the color. This really had the reddish tone through all the smoke with the crescent moon. I might have to make a card out of that.
Yeah.
And this is a female broadtail on some salvia off the deck. And that's like, I think it's about 4,000ths of a second.
Wow.
F2.8 at about 200 millimeters.
That's amazing.
I like the colors.
The
Yeah,
females are
they're-
this brightly colored?
Yeah. Yeah, they're salvia. We don't have any feeders, but they seem to like the flower pots just fine. So
Mm.
maybe the feeders are more to me than the birds.
Pretty cool.
They're leaving.
Yeah, they were at my house. Now they come back for the flowers. They're not doing the feeders. The feeders haven't gone down at all.
Good. It's time.
Yep. Ooh.
Okay, well, I only have 2 shots for you. A friend of mine drove out from Wisconsin 2 weeks ago today, and we had all kinds of plans for the last 3 months about getting some nice dark sky viewing in. Well, that was before the smoke happened. But he got out here 2 weeks ago today, and I said, oh, there's a good crescent moon out tomorrow morning. Maybe we can do some pictures of that and maybe get Mars. And he has a 5-inch stellar view refractor, and he was planning on doing all kinds of imagery from maybe sand dunes or whatever. But just about I kept telling him, there's all this smoke, it's getting worse. Well, when he was here, it was just like the worst of the smoke. But we did, the smoke will kind of lay down a little bit at night, overnight. So it was actually not real bad for getting the crescent moon. And this is a single frame, but I did a whole HDR stack, which is the next one. There we go.
Ooh, pretty.
Wow.
Nice.
So this was 1/8 of a second all the way up to 8 seconds. And I stacked 3 4-second exposures and 3 8-second exposures together, and then stacked those combinations with the other exposures and in a HDR program. And I don't know, I did like 3 tries on it and finally was happy with one of them. And sort of at the bottom of the moon, as you see it in this picture, there's a bit of a flat-ish spot. Maybe if you could show the last picture again, John, might be better. Yeah, the flat-ish spot, that's where Mare Orientale is on the edge of the moon. And it was a somewhat favorable libration, but the phase isn't the best to show much of it, and it wasn't the most tilted around towards this libration to see it well. So yeah, that was pretty fun. And Mars looked pretty good, and it's looking better now. What else? I suppose I should tell you a little bit of the story of trying to get those dark skies. I haven't camped for a few years, and as of this February or March, all of the camping reservations around the country have gone to the site called Reserve America. And you try to call up and get a reservation for a campsite, and you talk to someone in California or New Jersey for a site out here. Well, in my experience in the past, you used to be able to just drive down to Great Sand Dunes and around noon, and someone would be pulling out and you could get a campsite anywhere you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But they were all booked up in reservations. And I found a fire and smoke map, and the smoke had curled around the high pressure and back down. It's probably turning out backwards, back down in around where the sand dunes were anyway. So we decided to go up to Wyoming, to Glendo, and same problem there with the reservations. It looked on Google Maps and by the site maps to be real good for a good place with no lights around. But we got there and it was like giant cottonwoods there, even though on Google Maps it didn't look like there were any trees around. But it was probably a directly overhead view where the trees are, extremely foreshortened. Or maybe it was in fall. However, we found a ranger that showed us where another unreserved site was that they never put out for reservations. And it was wide open and there weren't any people around. Except that by the time we were there, the smoke was up to Wyoming. But it wasn't there a few days before. So my friend who had all his imaging gear, at about 1 a.m., the clouds were coming and going, but it was in between the clouds. It was actually very dark up there, so I can recommend that as a nice dark site. I think it's Bortle 2. Except around 1:30 in the morning, he had set something wrong up on his equipment, and he slewed the scope around, and it ripped one of his cables out. So that there's only one of those cables, and it was gone. And then that was Wednesday, 10 days ago or whatever. And Thursday morning, he gets a call from his neighbor saying that his pet sitter had flown the coop and hadn't been there for 2 days.
Ah,
So let's see. He had the weather, he broke a cable, and his pet sitter was gone. And he said, I got to get back to Wisconsin. He took off through the Badlands and Black Hills and went home. So that's kind of the rest of the story.
2020.
2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. I guess I have a question for Barb. Where's Barb? Where's Leonard?
He's making a sandwich.
We had a SpaceX launch about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, we saw that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There also are, there's another launch tonight, Rocket Lab, or did it already go? No, okay. Rocket Lab, before the end here, we'll let you know, Rocket Lab is in New Zealand. And let's see, and then there's another launch, I think is it Monday, Leonard? That is the NRO launch.
Oh, yeah. Rescheduled from the fire they had the other night.
They got down to about 3 seconds. Yeah, they've canceled a couple times.
Oh,
It's
that one.
like
Yeah.
They had
10 to midnight.
they had a pad abort and they started the engines up and had some fire around the base and before it shut down.
That was exciting.
And I think, I don't know if I sent you in an email a couple, you might not still have that. I think in the not Mountain Messenger for August, but July, I think I'll go check that, but that we posted where you can see all the launches. And it's pretty exciting, especially, we saw them deploy a satellite and it was pretty neat.
Wow.
Okay, Judy. Oh, man.
That's at the sand dunes 2 years ago.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Berg.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was right here in the canyon a couple years ago, just this coming up from below and the fog coming up in the It was so pretty. I came home, got my camera, and went back out on the road and took about 20 pictures.
It's looking up toward my house.
No. Yeah.
There's
No.
Thornton.
That's Thornton. Your house is over
Yeah,
there.
We're in
Star
the
Peak,
we're
you
in
know.
the on the mountain just in front of it.
Mhm.
Okay.
You didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This was the challenge, to take a picture of the full moon down at the sand dunes. And it was the only thing I found that had water, and it was just so beautiful. And, you know, it's not the world's greatest shot. It's all jiggly, but considering I was leaning on a barbed wire fence, it was probably pretty good. Woke up the next morning and it's a sewage pond.
Oh,
Well,
You don't have to know that.
That's pretty.
That's later, the same sand dune picture later.
Nice.
And that is just off the deck here, fairly recently, like last week, in the smoke.
Mhm.
Pretty. Ooh.
And
Wow.
that's in Alaska. The ice pillars, the ice flakes are all at 30 degrees. And so it makes that pillar.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a very
It was
interesting.
very cool, like 40 below.
Is that a town below it, or what's reflecting at the base?
That's the sun itself, actually. The sun's down at the
Oh, I
bottom
see.
under the clouds.
Oh, I
And
see
then,
it
Okay.
and
now.
then the
Yeah.
pillar is reflecting up.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's the raging metropolis of Galena. All three houses or whatever.
All three houses.
Ah,
And that's 2 weeks ago up on Long Lake.
From
yeah.
the bridge.
Isabella.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't everybody stop there?
Yep. Love that view. Was it
Have to
crowded?
walk in?
there? Oh yeah. Beautiful.
It's not that
Walking-
often I get up and take dawn pictures. Sunsets are fine. Dawn, not so much.
That's a drive too.
Yeah, we left here at 4 to be up there by sunrise.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never seen it with the sun at this angle. Whenever I've seen it, the sun is in the west.
Right.
It really lights it up.
It's a beautiful. I've been up to Pawnee Pass a couple times through there
Mhm.
for sunrise, and it's there's nobody on the trail.
Yeah.
And you get back down and it's chaos, but you get to go. So that's nice.
Well, they're limiting people at Brainerd though, so it's not, I mean, it's crowded, but you got to get there early.
You had some moose that day?
This is in Fairbanks.
Yeah.
We slept at the museum overnight, the kids and the mothers, and so I was Karen's kid, and anyway. I was the mother and the grandma, anyway. And we slept on the floor in the museum next to a case with a big wolf in it. And the sunrise was just out of sight that morning.
It's a good one.
Very beautiful.
And that's the midnight sun. Was this last year or 2 years ago? Anyway, that was the midnight sun, 11 something at night. But again, it was so smoky. As smoky up there that year as it is here this year. And there was just, you couldn't see anything. It was like working in a fog, but it made for good sunsets. And the storm coming in. This is the grass lake behind where Karen lives. And the storms come from the east more frequently than anywhere else. And this one is coming in from the east.
Is Karen on tonight? Is she
I
joining?
think so. I saw her thing there. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's back to the sand dunes. And this is before I knew anything about anything. So I just took it and it happened. So it's been lightened. I added more brightness to it because the moon was very faint. But
Pretty sharp.
it was just with a plain old ordinary 200 zoom thingy. That isn't even with my good camera. That was the old camera.
Nice.
Mother Nature.
Sometimes it works.
Thanks, Judy. Those are good.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I am last, and I've got a few. So I got a GoPro this summer, and it is waterproof, which is new to the GoPros. Although I have a casing for an older GoPro for anyway, and we were down at this is, well, I think it's called Clear Creek. Between Leadville and Buena Vista is Clear Creek Reservoir. Along, you can get to Winfield, a ghost town back there, and Vicksburg, old mining ghost towns. Anyway, it was 6 in the morning, the sun, well, 6:30 in the morning, the sun had just come up and it was just bright enough. And so I stuck my hand in this, I don't know, 45-degree water. It felt like it was cold. And anyway, I got this and I thought, kind of cool. I might have to play more with this.
It's like a fish.
That's neat.
That looks like a
Just
fish.
down the road was this huge grove of aspens in a kind of a grassy area. And I didn't know about it. Otherwise, I'd spent the night here and taken, sky shots. And this was just last week.
I can do that now.
I must have gotten about 20 shots moving around with the camera just straight vertical, getting these aspen shots. And it's like, if you play them together, it's like a fractal. It's just bizarre how the changes,
That's with your Rokinon 14 millimeter?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I didn't use my 70 to 200 at all. I don't have anything in between this 14 and the 70, which, well, that's not true. I have a 50 manual, so I can use it. But anyway, yeah, I was using the 14 all night long. And this was from the parking lot there. We need to work on this image some more to bring the Milky Way out, but the moon is up. And so that's why it's got this kind of a bluish, bright sky look. That's hardly adjusted. It was just super bright. The moon set at about 1:30 and we left at about 2. Our idea was to get up to Belfort and Oxford for sunrise. And that was Connor's idea. And I couldn't sleep in the car that night. I don't normally have problems sleeping, but I'm still suffering from, being up for almost 40 hours.
So I see
But,
Andromeda there, John, at the bottom.
That's cool.
Judy, this is for you. On the Hunt for Orion.
Nice.
That's Venus. And John thinks there's some zodiacal light shown in this image.
Could be.
It's about that time of year. And I do have to say, I was looking at it, at the Venus from up there and thinking that I couldn't tell if there was a cloud in the sky. And then I didn't even think zodiacal light, but it makes sense from what I was seeing. So, of course, this is a 14 millimeter lens, so it's showing halfway up the sky.
It looks like you got one of those satellites.
Like what?
Look at that.
Like you had one of the satellites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was,
Oh, yeah.
That's become a given.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have
that
a
is
picture.
cool.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have a
That's
picture of one
Spooky.
bit of the one scene, and it's got at least 4 satellites crossing in various directions. It's kind of wild, cool. This was from a thunderstorm that came at about 1:30 in the morning out over, I was looking at the weather radar and it was out over Greeley. So it's 70 miles away or whatever. And it produced lightning till about 2:30. And it was honestly booming enough that you could kind of hear it from our house. It was really bothering our dog. The older she gets, the more she doesn't like thunderstorms. She's 12, so. But I just like the updraft lighting of this image in that thunderhead.
Very cool.
And we've been visited by this mother and two of her little fawns. And so I just had to throw that in because they are so darn cute.
Did you have the time lapse of this that you had on Facebook?
Of the storm?
The storm?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
That was really cool.
I did have a time lapse. I can show it if you want after everything. I have a time lapse from the storm, and I just set the camera out and probably got the moonrise that John got with that thin crescent. And that was a little spectacular and unexpected.
Cute.
Same thunderstorm playing with some filters.
That's cool.
Oh.
Little black and I desaturated it a lot. And this is a zoom in of the, this just looks like a dragon lair to me. It's so cool. That's what I call it, dragon lair. And here's a zoom in of that, one of the shots from that morning with that earth shine.
Oh, there's the crystal.
And this is fully zoomed in at, it's 70 millimeters, so, but I've zoomed it in quite a bit to get this.
I envy you, your view.
Yeah, we get clouds like this a lot. Sunset. This has been saturated some, but honestly not a lot. The colors this night this was before the storm. This in July, early July. And I don't know what it was about the sky during this time, but the sunsets were, I mean, Dave got it from the other side. They were spectacular. During the worst of the smoke, focusing on the tree, not the sun. We're just wanting kind of an orb. The colors were fascinating me. They were weird.
Pinks and reds.
Peaches and pinks and reds. They were just
crazy.
And this is through a lens ball. It's a crystal ball about that big. In fact.
Cool. Try that.
If I got the size right, it's about that big.
Yeah. That's cool.
You could look at me upside down. That was kind of cool. Same night as these other shots, and it's just the colors were so incredible. Well, everybody said that. And this also I wrote a story. To me, the sun looks all tangled up in the tree. And so I wrote a little story about the Tangled Sun.
Yeah, that was great. John shared that with me.
Yeah.
Got to make it into a book.
Yep.
I'm illustrating it now. School started on Monday, so there goes all my time.
But it's fun.
Yeah. John, explain the 3 classes that you're taking.
This is my second year of a 2-year master's program at CU. The School of Engineering has a program called Atlas, and it's a creative technology degree. And since I already do creative technology through web design and programming and graphic design and all this other stuff, I decided to, Aurora does a tuition reimbursement. So, and since we work at CU, I shouldn't have to pay for this, which is kind of nice, but it's been a lot of work. And I have 3 classes this semester, and one of them is called Neuro Hacking. And really it's a social media type of class. I don't know if you know, but Facebook and Instagram, they're addicting. They affect things up here just like drugs do. And so this class, and email is like the most basic thing. And I got interested in this after reading a book last year called Attention Merchants, about the brain science of how to get, not me more clicks, but how these companies do that. So this class is just right in line with that kind of thing. And then the other class I'm taking is a creative coding class, which my focus in this class will be D3JS, which is just a library of it stands for dynamic driven data. So it's a good way to do data visualizations. The rest of class, probably the students will do another processing, which is a Java language, and P5JS, but I'm going to study D3. And then I have an independent study that's going to be focused on building voice applications for Alexa and Google, which is one of my interests on the side. So more coding. So taking more pictures may not, I don't know, we'll see. I like to sleep, but taking pictures, being up like Friday night, Thursday night I'm like, why don't I do this every night? Oh, because I like to sleep.
Yeah.
So, John, do you want to share anything about these masks that you're thinking about designing? Or do you want to keep that more private?
Well, you've already kind of.
What it was.
So I've got an idea. Well, and they just opened up a contest in our Atlas program for masks. I have a real love affair with Arduino and LED programming. And so I have this idea. This is a large thing. This is an LED grid, 8x32. And this is too big, but think about if you award as if it was underneath the mask, and you can do, it's not hard to program those to have scrolling words or the time or any text you wanted to, like you're too far, you're too close, or any other things like that. And you can do this from your phone. So you can say, my name is John, and it'll scroll across. And the idea for this really came from, you remember like Robbie the Robot and these other old retro robots, when they talk, they have little light things on their mouth. Yeah. So I was thinking, I have these little piezos that should pick up my voice. Oh, sorry, you can't see them. They should pick up my voice, so I've got to develop that in my spare time as well, and do illustrations for 3 kids' books, and man, I have a lot of side projects. Holy smokes!
No boredom there.
Then you work, too, NRO.
She thinks I should retire so I can do all my little projects.
Yeah.
This picture
That's
here,
great. Yeah.
we took at Valley Forge last year when we visited Ariel in Pennsylvania. Well, she lives in Delaware, and I honestly, it's one of those pictures where you're like, could this be any more perfect? Like, everything, the bee comes flying in with I have another one and I look at them both and I go,
wow.
I mean, it isn't very often that you get a picture that's taken in the middle of the daytime that looks fantastic. And these all looked fantastic.
Come through my moonshot.
Beautiful.
These are some of my favorite. I have 4 or 5 of these butterfly pictures, and I'm like, I should do the series.
Come here.
Weeks ago, I got some barnwood and made a frame for this one, and it looks like an incredible thing. This is
I thought at first there was a spider on top, but
yeah.
I think it's probably another part of the thistle.
This dead thistle back here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you got good butterfly shots, I wonder if the Butterfly Pavilion would be interested in selling little printed framed versions of those.
Well, I could
There you go.
print up a bunch. I could take some down, and I haven't been very good about getting my stuff to sale. Like I have a bunch of star cards left that need to be gone. If y'all want star cards,
Looks like rain.
so when this is that thunderstorm from that night 2 weeks ago, and this is before all the smoke happened. And when I was taking the pictures, I was like, it would be cool to get star trails. And that's why I left the camera going all night, so that I could get star trails and any lightning, incidental lightning. So this is really a composite, but it's taken during this, the star trails are all from that night. And this is just one scene of lightning. I have to tell you, the stack of this originally is really, really imposing. I should find it. I mean, you remember the scene in can you see the slideshow?
So John,
Yeah.
is that with the GoPro?
No, it was with I have a Nikon D750. It was a 70 millimeter lens.
Oh,
What?
so no, I was just wondering what was it? You keeping it open, or was that intervals, or what?
They were intervals of 30-second exposures with 1 second between. So Nikon D750 has an intervalometer built in. And so you can just program it and say, just go all night long. And
Okay.
So, I mean, I think, well, it either.
Mine has that too. I've never played with it.
I had to really play with it to figure out I want to show you this picture of the whole thing at once. You remember the scene from Independence Day when the starship comes over the cities? That's what it looks like. Oh, come on. Sorry, I didn't mean to snap. Hey. Mountain broadband is very slow today.
Yeah.
Still problems from CenturyLink or something.
That could be that I've got 9 million things open on my computer as well. Anyway, so what else? 30-second, and then I do use Star Stacker to stack it all up. And then I did that with the stars, and then got the one image from, cut out the sky, just got this, just got the edge, and in Photoshop then blended the two together so that everything was alive.
It takes some time.
Can you see the picture of the clouds and the mountain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you were seeing.
Well, it looks like rain instead of stars, the way it was streaming down from the heavens.
I can't bring it up right now. It's being incredibly slow. So, all right, that's all the pictures we've got.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, what about that time lapse?
The thing you sent, George?
You said you were going to show us the time lapse.
Oh, you want to see that?
Yeah, I have a picture too.
Well, go ahead and share it, Carol.
Well, hold on a minute. Yeah, that's it. And then it's not letting me share. Why is this? Oh, here we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, you got your moose too.
Oh, we had several of them that day, and this guy was wandering around eating everything. We also have a teenage gang of deer that keep coming through, male deer. So, but yeah, he was wandering around eating all the. This is about 3 weeks ago from our deck. I shot that with an iPhone.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you
It's
find
fun
your?
to see their backs like that.
Well, look at his horns too.
Yeah, what a rack.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we were saying.
Need some more time?
I'll bring up a video.
I was able to do that from Facebook too.
Oh,
Yeah,
what a pretty
I
kitty.
didn't have to screw around.
All right, John, what's your cat's name?
Coco.
Aw.
Hi, Coco.
She's purring.
She wants to be.
So, John, while you're getting that, let me say a few things here.
That's Bella.
Hi, Coco.
Yeah, I was trying to show you my cat too, but she's all black. It's hard to
I
see.
know. There.
Show your animals.
Did you know that
Cats
the,
are-
the Tesla logo is a cat's nose?
Oh, is it?
No
Yeah.
kidding.
It is, like, bring it up sometime, and they have Elon talking about it, but yeah, it's if you bring it, if you Google it, it's got the Tesla logo and a cat's nose right next to it.
Seriously? Well, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Go figure.
Huh. Here, yeah, you really can't see her.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
She's Jadzia. Can you show us your face? Oh, look at that.
There she
Oh,
is.
baby.
Is that a
She's
Star
very
Trek
camera
reference?
Yep.
So, John, if you need a little more time, let me ask you all, that we have been doing every 2 weeks, and now this was 3 weeks. If we do September 26th, for the International Observe the Moon Night, or do the night after that, that would be about 4 weeks. Is that okay with everyone? Are you getting lonely in between? Because I need to finish our taxes, along with a whole array of other
If you
things.
wait long
Sand
enough, Barb, you could just submit them with next year's.
that's not good. We got a refund coming, so I want to get that. But does that sound, at least for this time, okay with everyone? We just do
Sure.
September
Sounds good.
26th or 27th, and we'll take a look. Maybe several of us can figure out whether we'd really want to be on the website for Observe the Moon, or maybe do that separately the night before, and then people post a lot of different things, so we could look at some of those. I wanted to tell you too, partly why, and I hope you all felt that this worked out really good with people sharing their photography. But I started out about 2 weeks ago trying to get a fellow named Rod Pyle, who's an author, to see if he could be our speaker for tonight. And he wrote back and said his mom had COVID.
Oh.
And
I know Rod. Yeah.
and unfortunately she passed away
Close to the mic, please.
Unfortunately, she passed away about 5 days ago.
Oh,
He's actually living on a boat in San Diego, and his mom was in Ojai, which is like north of Ventura in California. And, but, he's very interested in doing something in the future. And Leonard, just to mention a little bit about his mom having COVID, he wrote to us like a paragraph or so about the experience. And he's a really good writer. So Leonard was encouraging him to write something about the experience. And, you see things on the news, you've probably heard some people talk about it, but he said it was really pretty horrendous, which means stay inside, as Leonard and I say, you just don't want to get it.
Is he the one whose mom was a dancer? Now, there were two mothers that died in the group this week, and one of them, the mother was a dancer, but I forget if it was his mom or the other one.
The amazing thing, she was in a memory care, living, a care facility that dealt with memory. And that facility, I'm not sure how many people they have, but they had no COVID for 6 months. And then one person came in and half the people there got it. And then some of the caregivers too, just really sad. But anyway, so he's got one book that's amazing stories about space. And I thought that would be really great because it's, spacecraft or programs that got developed but they never saw fruition, and some odd sorts of things that have happened in space over time. So, but he could talk on a lot of other subjects too. Anyway, I think he would probably be October then. And let's see, Bob Grimm couldn't be on tonight. He drove his son Owen back to Michigan to college. And, but John Pinot, I think probably Clark and Y know him. No? Okay. Well, he's another one that he said wanted to speak to our group. So, and he's a engineer and has worked on a lot of missions, and I'm not sure exactly what he'd speak on, but we do have a number of people that definitely want to speak to us, and we want your input too. Anyone you hear of. I know Mark and John have recommended some different people too. I just don't see us, sorry, Susie, but I don't see us back at the hall anytime real soon. So unless we do a drive-in parking lot thing.
Yeah.
We'll just wait for
Barb.
Yeah. What? Go ahead. Susie, do you want to go ahead? What?
Sorry, Barb.
Oh, I was just saying, we'll wait for a vaccine, then.
Yeah.
We'll
That's
just
what
wait.
we're
Barb,
waiting
his
for.
mom, Barb, his mom was a ballerina. She was with
really?
the American
Wow.
Ballet Theater. Yeah, there's a picture on his Facebook page of her dancing, and then not long before she got this and died, there's a picture of her doing a little, doing a little pose. It's actually pretty cool. You can look them up on Facebook.
Okay. Do you know
What
how
was
old she
his name
was?
again?
Rod Pyle.
Rod Pyle, P-Y-L-E.
Yeah. He doesn't say how old she was, but she looks like she was probably in her 80s.
Yeah. So anyway, that, after 2 weeks ago, he couldn't do it. Then I asked Bob Grimm, and he said he was going to be gone. And then John said he was too busy, John Williams. So I'm thinking, well, I better send an email and say we're not having this, or that we will, and we don't have a proper speaker. And then I came up with this idea of just send it, any of the photos that you'd like to share, so about nature and as well. So I think it was fun. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and we'll get back to bringing in some people from far away. I was kind of desperate to do that because I thought we'd be doing in-person meetings by this time or soon, but looks like we're going to have this going for a while. So if we do 4 weeks from tonight, or about 4 weeks anyway, does that sound okay to everyone? And then would you want to continue just once a month, or would you want to do every 3 weeks, or can we have people's opinions on that? Or hands up, 4 weeks, is that good?
Sure.
And then, okay, and then 3 weeks?
Sure.
Every 3 weeks? Yeah, okay. Okay, well, let's aim for, this 4 weeks now for the Observe the Moon Night or day after. And then we can look at, we can go back to 3 weeks if you want after that. I should have the taxes done by then. And the deck sanded and stained. One of the decks anyway. Let's see, so Rocket Lab launches, it looks like, I think I've got this right, at 9 p.m. our time. And if you go to their website, it's just rocketlabusa.com. And then you can click on the live launches. So you might want to check in about 15 minutes before.
So where do they launch from?
From New Zealand. It's a peninsula. And
Did you get that address? You interrupted me.
oh, yeah. Rocket Lab. So, Rocket and then Lab, L-A-B, USA.com. And then just click on the stream. It's probably the first thing that would come up there. Let's see. Then that other Atlas, NRO, what is that, National Reconnaissance Orbiter? Is that what that is? Or Delta Launch. I'm looking at your Atlas. Delta Launch. I think that's next week. So I don't know, John, do you know which website you go to for that one?
No, I can find out though.
Okay. And the last 2 times I've done the MailChimp, sending out the email, I'm still a novice, but it seems, oh, that's great, John.
Yeah, you can keep talking while this goes. It's 2 minutes long.
Wow.
Right.
But yeah, so I hope you all got it, and that, looked like it looked okay, so I'm going to try to do that, and, because John's so busy with his classes.
I will try to do it, Barb.
Oh,
I know
that's
you're
okay.
busy as well.
You can just give me a brief tutorial on the things that I keep forgetting how to do, that would be good. But, and we'll try to send those out earlier to you too. And I think, does anyone else have any news or anything they want to share? And I don't know.
I've got a question I'd like to ask people by sharing a screen and asking them what they know about this astronomical event when we can do that in a bit.
1 more minute.
By the way, we're hearing hollering right now.
It's almost 8 o'clock.
Oh, so they're doing the howl?
Yeah, they're doing the
They're
howl
doing
around here.
Halloween here.
Yeah, and there's also a storm moving in from the north, so hey.
Oh,
Well, I can see it from here. Yeah,
I have to look out.
it's a little something, a little something.
Yeah, they said snow for the mountains. Dusting
man.
of snow for the mountains tonight.
Really?
And the end of August is always, we always get a little snow, This is true in the high Sierras in California too, where my mom and dad and I sometimes were there on August 30th, and it always seemed to snow. Just a little, spring. I don't think we're going to get a foot. That's
the moon. Yeah, John, the moon.
Yeah, that was that bonus. And I think that's the same moon that John got.
Now, John, when you're watching, John Williams, when you're watching that, is that going smooth or is it jumping?
It's smooth for me.
Okay, it's
Is it
jumping for us.
I'm sorry.
I think it's
still
because we're
good.
running it through Zoom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
we get about 1 frame a second.
Here, hold on. 1 frame a second, that's nothing. Hold on. Come on. Gee whiz. Even my computer's going, no. Here's the YouTube video. I'll put it in chat. You guys can watch it at your leisure.
John, you recorded this too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I'm sorry,
that's
everybody.
great.
I
should
hope
ask.
you don't mind. Does anybody have a problem with me recording them?
No.
It's a little slow. Good thing Colorado doesn't have that law, but I'm recording this. Yeah.
Well, I'll have my agent get in touch with you.
And yeah, John, I know you're real busy, but maybe we can get Carolyn's posted to our website, or if you can send her talk about her most recent book, that might be good.
I didn't
Oh,
post
the
it.
observatory book? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I thought I posted that. All right, maybe not.
Oh, I didn't
Laura-
look. Yeah.
And Laura Danley's talk too. I think that was quite good.
Yeah, I
Did-
also
did
put a couple of
everyone-
links to the talks I did this weekend in the chat. You can't put those up. Those belong to Fort Collins Comic-Con, but you can watch them. So
Okay. Well, I won't put them up. I'll watch them.
oh yeah, well Claire's is there too. I should probably send you the link for that.
I can ask her too, if she knows. Cool. What did you want to know? The NRO launch?
And George wanted to show us something.
Oh yeah, George.
Right.
By the way, while he's doing that, let me in case you don't know, if you bring up the chat and go in the lower right, you'll see 3 dots. If you click on those dots with your mouse, you can save the chat screen. So all this stuff people put up, you can go back to. It's on your computer.
Good. That's great.
Hmm.
Know that. I wanted to also mention there are two new movies. One's called Away, and with Hilary Swank going to Mars, I guess. I think it was Mars. I think that it airs on September 4th. I'm not sure what channel. I haven't really seen anything about it, but, I haven't seen it, but Leonard said it was getting good reviews. And I think there's another one called Mars, but I don't, it may be the National Geographic one that was related to Leonard's Mars book. That's a great series, 6 on the first season, 6 in the second. We think it's pretty good anyway. But anyone else have you seen or documentaries or anything that you want to recommend to people? No?
We saw Brian May. Remember, Carolyn, when you showed us Brian May on New Year's Eve, where he was on AXS doing part of a concert, and it was fabulous. And there he was.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, he did a little concert at that event too. He was right in front of all of us. We were about 20 feet away, and it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was fun because then I saw him on TV. I thought Carolyn saw him live.
I get to hug him too.
Oh my gosh.
That's very cool. Really. Yeah.
Hugs? What are those?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, does anyone else have it?
This is Karen up in Alaska. I was just going to mention that we got contacted this week by our friends with BBC Radio in England, wanting to do another story on the sounds of the Aurora. So we're going to be working on that this fall, and if it comes to fruition, I'll let you guys know.
Cool.
Great.
Cool. Do they make sound? Does the Aurora make a sound that you can hear? I don't know.
Yes, it does. And also she has a radio that can listen to it too.
Hmm.
What is it?
So is that like Dawn
Ultra
Chorus?
low frequency radio. Yeah, it is like the Dawn Chorus. Yeah, ultra low frequency radio wave.
Yeah.
George, did you want to share the video?
Anyone else have anything they want to share? I can tell you one thing that just a very elated thing for me. All of you probably have paid off your houses, but we still have a mortgage. And we're with Elevations Credit Union, and we applied for and got accepted to the 3-month postponement of your payment of your mortgage. And it looks like we're pretty sure they're going to put that 3 months on the back of our mortgage. So that means we have about $6,000 extra dollars, that we don't have to, one of the options was you just pay it all off at the end of the 3 months. And looks like we got approved for putting it on the end of our mortgage. So that makes us very happy.
Nice.
By the way, it's starting to rain here, so we're going to sign up.
You're going to go in. Okay. Bye.
Rain. All right.
Send it this way.
That rain.
Yeah, send it down.
Well, we're not so far
Well,
away.
It's raining here now. It hit. Woohoo!
Yeah.
George has a video he wanted to share.
Yeah. Okay.
Or
Didn't I tell you something was moving in?
I
I
want
was
to know
watching it out our north window.
Tell me what anybody knows about this that I'm showing here.
Looks like the coma
It's just-
cluster. Or one of those distant gigantic clusters.
Yeah, does anyone know about that? I don't think, I could ask Leonard, but
So they found a bridge like this between Milky Way, from what I remember, Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy. But I haven't heard of this one between these two galactic clusters, which are much, much farther apart. Guess we'll have to do some research, George. I'm trying to find information on this NRO launch, and I just have very slow internet right now with the Zoom meeting going, so I have no information.
I think, yeah, well, you were probably Googling it too, right?
Well, I am, but it's,
What are you looking for, John?
well, I thought.
NRO launch. It's a Delta launch that
Delta
it's
4
been
Heavy.
delayed. Yeah. NRO L-44, I think, or 40.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't look that up before.
There isn't actually any new information about what. I'm not seeing anything yet.
The Delta.
Okay,
Is that a?
what I had up there, what I had up there, I was wondering, does anybody know anything about those radio bridges across huge light distances in light years?
I haven't read it about
I
it.
saw the same press release, but they didn't give all the, they didn't go into a lot of detail.
Well, I thought it was pretty interesting how far apart these things
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
It's ham radio people, George, you know, communicating between two galaxies.
Stranger things have
I
happened.
want in on it.
You're muted, Judy.
Why? Maybe we ought to turn the people listening for intelligence in space to listen there at that wavelength and see if they can hear it.
What's going on?
Put SETI out there.
Yeah.
And Leonard's still working on setting up one of those panels on UFOs.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and maybe we'll do that one in October, you know.
Okay.
The third person, maybe I shouldn't say anything. The third person that he had in mind just went to jail, so.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with UFOs, you know. So he's trying to see if he can get a replacement for him.
Can't he call from jail? I mean, how much time?
Oh yeah, Zoom from jail.
From jail, what the heck?
Sure, what the heck? Yeah. It's like we're all in jail anyway.
Yeah, right.
Well, except for some of us are on the bridge of some starship.
Yeah.
That's true.
There's
So
that.
George, I'm actually reading about that, about those two galaxies, and it's like it's a magnetic field thing, but they've been colliding. So I'm kind of wondering if there wasn't some sort of gas bridge and that's dissipated. There's still a magnetic field link or something.
Well, that's pretty interesting. If you read a little more, they think the one has passed through each other once before, and it's
Yeah,
come
at least
back
once,
and
yeah.
again and stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, magnetic fields in the universe are still pretty much I mean, we know that they're there. It's just that everybody's still kind of probing how strong they are and what, you know, what other influences that they have. And this is kind of interesting.
I mean, that one is huge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have a radio halo.
Hmm.
I'll have to do some more digging on that.
So the other question concerning flying objects, have we seen the last of the Miller moths?
I
I think
haven't
Well, our
seen
cats
any
are still
for a while.
eating them.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the last of the mosquitoes about a month ago.
Really?
Well, we hardly ever get any up here, but
Yeah,
Miller moths, yeah, we've been having them.
yeah, we've had hundreds of Miller moths, and Carolyn had told me about the stainless steel bowl. I might have mentioned that
Moth
before, and the
stew,
light
yeah.
over it. And we only got one last night. We had a couple
That's not so
days
bad.
with none, but we were getting like 12 every night, and yeah, we've had 100. I don't think we've ever had so many Miller moths as this year. It's an invasion,
Has
I don't
anybody
think
seen
it's
a lot
just
of
'cause
rabbits?
we're home more. What was that?
Rabbits. Some years we got a ton of rabbits around here. Haven't been that many. But Mark said we've got mice and voles.
We've got baby
V-O-
rabbits.
Do you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have bowls too. They're awful this year.
Mm.
Bobcats will love it.
Well, if we had
Yeah, we
them,
don't have
ours-
very
ours
many
kinda went away.
foxes anymore.
Mm-mm.
What is up with that? I've noticed there.
Well, they had mange one year, but they haven't really come back because they really control the bowls. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's like a
coyotes were
cart-
too. Yeah.
yeah, you just watch your plant and you just see it sucked down into the earth with it like a cartoon. But it's not funny.
Yeah, we've been having, our cats have been finding mice, and they don't eat them. They just leave the dead mice, so there's this little gift, here and there. We get a lot of those.
Hey, Barb.
She's looking at me like, I don't do that.
Their job.
Yeah. Well, they think we can't feed ourselves, I guess, although, we're slowly inching towards the COVID-19.
Uh-huh. 2020.
Well, I guess I'm gonna take off.
Yeah, we're gonna head out here.
You
Good to
guys.
see y'all.
Okay.
So good to
everybody,
see
take
you
care.
all.
John.
We miss you. We love you.
Bye.
Soon.
It's
Soon.
definitely fun. I'd meet every week if you wanted to.
Oh, well, let me get through the taxes then. We can talk about it. I mean, you guys can, I've got a account I'm paying $15 a month for. You could use my account if I can't be there. You can meet every week if you want to. Sunday nights, I don't know. We can bring in other people too if we want. I don't know. So
Did John
we'll work on
sign off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think he moved it over to me.
okay. Because I was trying to get in. Hey, could David Elmore, John, and I talk about the videoing of the moon? But too late.
We can set that up another time.
Yeah.
If you want, just to, yeah.
Well, there's a month. I could try to learn it, but if there was, there's one thing. John Williams has a Nikon, and I have a Canon, but I know David Elmore has a Canon. It'd be nice to touch base and see if we can't try a trial run, before then, and see if that might work and get a good enough video feed rate.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I could hook my camera up to a telescope, but it wouldn't have zoom capability. It would be the same size image as what you saw, the pictures that I showed tonight.
Mhm.
We could move it around a little bit and say, okay, here's this thing on the center, whatever, and change the exposure for the different parts of the moon. But I don't know. That's something to think about.
Yeah.
I have a Canon that does video. I've just never, bought it from Sam, actually, Sam Reed, but I've never used the video. So I don't know if that will work too, or not? It's a pretty good Canon.
Yeah,
It's a,
it takes some, experimentation to get things to look right, I think, but it might be worth it. I also have to find out if and my daughter might be having a wedding reception in town here on that night, on the Saturday night.
she's getting married?
Yeah, she's eloping.
Oh, wow.
But the party happens anyway.
Oh, well, it's because of the virus stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And they've been engaged for a year, and they live out in Oregon, and first they wanted everyone to fly out there, but then, it's trouble. So, but they're going to fly back here and have a party, so everyone's going to be in contact anyway, So
Yeah.
I'll be wearing a mask, but still,
When is that? Have they picked a date?
Yeah, it's right then.
Oh, September 26th?
They're actually getting married on the 23rd, but they're flying back on the 24th, and I don't know if the party is on the 26th. I have to find out.
Yeah. And David Elmore emailed, I guess, that his wife's birthday is the 26th. So he might, if we do it the 27th, then maybe that's okay. But we could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll go back, and you might look at International Observe the Moon Night and just, take a look at their site. I need to take a closer look too, but they have people, sending emails and posting pictures and stuff like that. So it might be better to do it the next night.
I think we should try both.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
I put a picture in last year.
Did you? Oh, good. Great. Yeah, that'd be good. Well, and John, maybe we could see if you were saying David Elmore and John Williams, was there somebody else too that you wanted with the video?
Well, I just know that David Elmore has a Canon like I do, and he may know something about the video modes that I don't know. But so that was kind of most of it, I guess. I just don't do videos either. I should learn that because it really could be useful.
Well, are you talking about video or interval?
Video, live video.
Oh.
There's Coco.
You can email him, right? If you don't have his email.
I have his email.
Yeah, maybe you and John could email each other and just, work out a time to maybe do a Zoom or something.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna go make a sandwich. We've
Yeah,
gotten into sandwiches a lot.
Well, I think I'm going to go eat.
What?
Soup for me.
Good to
All
see
right.
you.
Bye.
I'll sign off too. Thanks for putting the meeting on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, bye.
Bye-bye. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Ended. I'm kind of digitally. Okay, that's over. Let's watch. You want to watch the news? Or do you want to watch Better Call Sal? Now I wonder what.